How's your day going so far? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you. So far, so good. I got up and got myself going this morning. Had my morning smoothie, so I'm feeling pretty good. What are you up to today? Hey, Coco's Ethnic Eats. No problem. Thank you. I appreciate it. How are you doing, Coco? Hope your morning is off to a good start. I'm trying to pin this comment. Let's see. Here you go. Oh, going fishing. You know, I've never been fishing and I definitely want to go. But I need to go with somebody that knows what they're doing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Let me turn the sound down a little bit. There we go. All right, guys, good morning. Welcome to Tag Talks. Today, I'm going to be kind of continuing on with what I was talking about yesterday. But yesterday, I mentioned, hi, hey, Cherise, happy Tuesday. Welcome in. Hey, Shanette, happy Tuesday. How are you guys? I hope you're doing well. Having a good morning so far. So yesterday, my topic was, why are you single? Because I'm often given that question. And so I decided to talk about it a little bit. And it's conversations that I have quite often with friends and things like that. So I thought it would be a good topic to talk about here. Let's see. Coco said, if you get to a pier, trust me, everyone will help you. Yeah, there'll be people out there fishing that know what they're doing. So definitely. I just wouldn't even know what to take. I would have to look up what do I need? What tools do I need to go fishing? I wouldn't even know what to do. But I hope everybody's morning is off to a great start. So I decided today's topic would be, do you have a list? So yesterday I mentioned that several years ago, I was at this conference. It was like a singles conference, and there was a youth pastor there. He was the one that was hosting the conference for single people. And it was just kind of like fun, encouraging, uplifting type of messages and things like that. And one of the things that he said was that single people, whether you're male or female, need to create a list. And now I've heard about lists, and sometimes they get like a negative connotation. Like people hear the word list and you think they're just listing all these ridiculous things about what they want, and none of it is attainable. So, which is sometimes true. But the way that he described it was actually pretty interesting. And so it was something that I actually did. So the way that he described it was create a list, and you have to kind of divide it down the middle. So you have a list of things that you're willing to accept in a relationship, and on the other side, things that are non-negotiables, meaning things that you are not willing to accept in a relationship. And the reason why he said to do so was because when you're dating somebody, if somebody has those qualities or they're doing those things on the non-negotiables, things that you know that you would not be comfortable with in a relationship, then you may as well not even continue dating that person, because you're just going to be frustrated. You already know that their beliefs or their actions don't align to what you would want in a long-term relationship. So why even keep dating that person? And then on the left side, you have the things that you're looking for, the qualities that you're looking for. So I did that when I came back from that conference. But recently, a couple months ago, I met with my cousin Eric, and he's actually works a lot with like public speaking and things like that. Him and his wife, they've been together for over 15 years, I believe. But they're such a like great couple, just kind-hearted, genuine people, love to help. They've raised 3 beautiful kids. All of them have graduated high school and are doing great things outside of high school now. So I really respect him as a person, and he just wanted to take me out to brunch. It was around the time of my birthday, and I had just gotten a new job, and so he was like, we should go celebrate. So he took me to go eat for brunch, and we were just talking about a lot of different things. We were talking about how we were raised and things like that, because we both grew up with parents who were preachers and preachers' wives. And so we were talking about all those different things. And one of the things that he started talking to me about was just relationships. He was like, I don't know what's leading me to talk to you about this, but he said, I just felt kind of led to share a couple of things. And one of the things that he said was that I needed to create a list. And I was like, oh, wow, I've heard this before. But the way that he explained it was actually even more beneficial for me. So he said, create a list. And he said the same thing. Have a side that says the things that you will accept or that you are looking for in a relationship. And on the other side, the things that you would not accept or that you would not want in a relationship. But the difference between what he said and the other man was, my cousin said, after you write the list, underneath the list that you have for what you're looking for, underneath that list, then put this little note underneath it. And so the little note that he added was, God, whatever you have for me from this list of things that I desire, that's what I want, pretty much. So he was basically saying, you have this list of things that you desire in a person, and there may not be one person that has every single quality on that list, but asking God to give you the things that God wants for you to have from that list. I thought that was a good piece to add, because you could have all these things that you desire, but that may not be realistic for one person to have all of those qualities. But on the other side, the things that are just non-negotiables, things that you're not willing to deal with at all, then you need to be really particular about that. So, for example, and I have my list. I'm not going to tell you everything on here, but I'll tell you some things that I desire. So at the end of this list, I put down this note. I said, with these in mind, I thank you, God, for giving me the man who has the things I need and what you have for me from this list. So I know that everything on this list may not be within that one person, but some of these things will be. And that's just what I believe. And so I'll tell you some of the things that I have on my list. So first thing I had on there was loves God genuinely and wholeheartedly. Not so much about religion, but their own personal relationship with God. Loves himself even when he sees his own flaws. Recognizes his flaws, but focuses on what he can change. Hey, base chick, how are you? Has a stable and financially stable career. Loves his family. This was a big one for me. Has male friends who hold him accountable. So one of the things that I said that I would want in a future partner is, and this is just based on previous relationships, one of the things that I noticed was that some of the men that I've been in relationships before really didn't have close male friends outside of me. And I would love to be in partnership with somebody who has men that he can communicate with and talk to and have a good time with. I just think it's healthy to do so, to have people that you that and also hold you accountable. So like if you're not speaking kindly to your wife, like a friend that will be like, hey, that's not acceptable, or things like that, you know. And so because I have friends, and so I would want him to have friends as well, because I want to go and have time with my friends, especially like my two closest friends. One is in my hometown, Daisy, and one is in Las Vegas, Tasha. And so every so often I do like to take trips with them. And so I do want somebody that will have their own friendships too outside of me, because I think that's healthy. So they're not just wanting all of my time, and I'm not just wanting all of his time, where we're comfortable with, you know what, go hang out with the boys, go to the bar and go watch a game. I don't care, like those kinds of things. And then when we're together, we're together. When we go do things together, then we're together. So that's important to me. Yeah, it's really important for sure, Sharice. Definitely. Let's see. I'll read. So again, I'm reading from the list of my desires in a partner. So this is really private. I usually don't share this with people. So I'm actually letting you guys into my life. For me, this is another one for me. I would love for my partner to love music. It would be really hard, really, really hard for me if the person I'm with does not love music, because music is such a big part of my life. And even some of my friends, like here in the Dallas area, like they all love music. So it would be really, really hard for someone who doesn't like to go listen to live music or go to a concert. I feel like we would have a hard time like having things to talk about. I will say my ex, the more recent ex, that was one thing that was really good, was that we both had a love for music. Let me see. Oh, so another one that I had on my list of desires, and I just kind of listed a whole bunch of things or qualities. Someone who's respectful to others, including people like wait staff and custodians. I know that's like really particular, but I've been around people who are just mean to people who work service jobs, and I can't stand it. Even with friends, like I know I had a friend in college, and she would be so mean to workers in like clothing stores and stuff when there was like a mistake or something that they weren't even in control of. They were just working there. But she would just go off the handle with people. Um, and I just can't stand that either. Creating content will have you stepping outside your comfort zone. Definitely, Sharice. Definitely. For sure. I'm trying to see if anyone else has joined in that I missed. I think I got everybody so far. So, and thank you guys, by the way, for tuning in. I put on here, this one was a big one for me as far as dating. I put loves or prefers to talk on the phone and see me in person. So this came from an actual guy that I was dating, and this was somebody I was just dating. I wasn't in a relationship with this particular guy, but we were just dating, kind of trying to see if it could go anywhere. And one of the things I could not stand was that he just wanted to text me all the time or send me audio messages, which was weird for me because I understand like throughout the day when you're working and stuff like that, yeah, you might text or send audio messages because you can't just be on the phone. But this was like, even when he was at home and I was at home, he would just want to send me audio messages. And so you have to wait for the audio message and then you respond back and send him an audio message, and then he would wait for the audio message and send it back to me. And I was like, that's weird. I don't know. It made me a little suspect too, because I'm like, is there somebody there that you can't like just be on the phone and you have to kind of duck off to go send me an audio message? Or you just never know. I just thought it was weird, or maybe, I don't know, who knows. Don't date, never over the phone, date me in person. Yes. Because the thing about it, with text messages, you can easily mistake someone's tone, or you might think somebody's mad. You might think someone's annoyed or something, and they're not. It's just, you can't really hear a person's tone through a text message. So I'm like, call me, or, we can actually talk in person. So that was one that's a desire. Someone who's genuinely wanting to be in a committed relationship. I don't judge anybody who wants to be in like polyamorous relationships or have multiple partners or things like that. But when you know that you're dating somebody that wants a committed relationship, don't waste anybody's time. And so just being honest about that. Empathetic. Someone who's empathetic. So empathy is basically, you may not go through it yourself, but you're able to feel for others who may be going through things. And I took this from another man that I dated for just a few months, and that ended up, I'll have to tell that kind of story later. But deep down, I still believe that he's a good person. But I feel like some of the life issues or life circumstances that he grew up in, he needs to deal with, because he doesn't realize that it's projecting onto other people. But one of the things that I realized that he lacked, which is hard for me, is empathy, because he was really judgmental of people. For example, like if he had a really good job and was doing really well, nice home, things like that, but he was really judgmental of people who were not in his circumstance, because he came from struggling, from not having a lot, and he was able to make it to a point where he's doing really well. He doesn't understand why there are people who are struggling and things like that. And I said, well, you just don't know what their story is. Like, maybe you should take the time to understand their story. Not everybody's the same. And so he didn't have any empathy. And I just realized that would be hard for me to be around, like somebody that's really judgmental towards others or puts other people down. I couldn't stand that at all. Let's see. Likes to vacation. I like to travel. So the more that I become, as far as financially successful, the more that I become, the more that I will travel. I'm not so much a um materialistic person. Like, I don't really like designer. Like my sister, she knows, like for example, a Louis Vuitton bag that has all of the LVs on it. Like I'm not attracted to that. Like if I get a Louis Vuitton bag, I want the LV to be almost hidden. Like I don't want anything just like flashy that's that kind of thing. Like if I like it, I like it. I'll buy it. So I'm not saying I wouldn't ever buy designer, because I do have some things, but it's just not something that I always do. So I'm not so materialistic. Hey, Coco Empire, how are you? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So someone who likes to vacation and is not super materialistic, something that I desire in a partner for sure. It would be really hard. And just an example, I was talking to a lady who was dating a man, and she likes to travel, and she could never get him to go on any trips. And mind you, he's actually very well financially stable. So it wasn't an issue of him not being able to afford to travel. He just hardly ever wanted to do anything. He was comfortable just staying at home. He was comfortable just doing just whatever, like being in the house. And it's hard when you are somebody that likes to go and do things, or if you like to go and travel. And even if he doesn't go on all the trips, but sometimes you want that person, your partner, with you on those trips. It would be really hard for me to be with somebody that doesn't like to travel. Let's see. Coco Empire. Oh no, you're sick. Yeah, I hope they will let you go home. It's the hardest thing, trying to be somewhere, trying to work, and you don't feel well. I definitely hope they let you go home, and hopefully you'll get some rest and feel better. Yeah, that's really hard. Yeah, Sharice, that is disrespectful. Treat people how you want to be treated, for sure. I agree. So I'll give, let me see, one more thing from my list of desires. One of the things also is has a sense of humor. Because you can't take everything seriously. Like some things you have to laugh about. And so you have to have a sense of humor in life. And so those are just some of my list of desires. Hey, Priscilla, how are you? Oh no, Base Chick, you too? You're not feeling well either? Wow. Well, I hope you feel better as well. Goodness. So, like I said, I have things written down that I desire, but from that list, I just kind of say, God, whatever you have for me from this list, I will accept. Now, the things that I would not accept. So, I could not be in a relationship with somebody who does not believe in God. You don't have to be like super churchy, because I'm not super churchy. So, but you do need to believe in God. That would be really hard, because we need to be able to say a prayer together. That's important for me. Priscilla, you're in need of a nap? Getting ready to do a video. Yep. Sometimes you just need to get some rest. Tanya's World. Hey, how are you? Thank you. Janetta, hey, how are you? I definitely hope those of you who are not feeling well, Coco, Base Chick, I hope you start to feel better. And Priscilla, I hope you are able to get some rest as well. So things that I do not, or that I would not accept in a man. So one of them was does not believe in God. Let's see what else I have on here. Somebody that's not transparent. So, like, it would be really hard for me to date somebody that wants to hold everything in and won't communicate. To me, like, being transparent, you should be able to talk about anything with your partner. That's just what I believe. If you can't talk about any and everything with your partner, then who else can you talk about things with? And you don't want to have to go talk to somebody else about something. Okay, Coco, I hope you feel better. Another thing that I wouldn't accept at this point in my life is long distance. So for me, like, let's say somebody lives, because I live in Dallas, Texas. Let's say somebody lives in I don't know, I'm trying to think of a place that's really, really far. Let's say somebody lives in New Jersey. It would be really hard for me because I like to be around the person physically, and actually, if I'm dating that person, I want to be able to go on dates and see them in person, because I want to see their interactions with people. Because I know you have FaceTime, you have those things, but dating somebody long distance, you're not around them enough to really, really see their interactions with people. And that's important for me because I really want to see, like, who you are. And that would be really, really hard. Also, I'm not at a point right now where I'd be willing to live in, like, a place that's super, super far. Just because my parents, right now, my parents live 5.5 hours from me, but my parents are getting older. My mom is in her mid 60s. My dad is in his early 70s. It would be really hard for me to live so far away where I wouldn't be able to drive if there was, like, an emergency. And that's important for me. And that's the reason actually why I moved to Dallas, because I lived in Las Vegas for 9 years and I loved Las Vegas. Like, I would still have actually probably been in Las Vegas if it weren't for my family being this way. And I'm glad I did, because when my grandmother got sick, my mom's mom, I was able to drive home. She got sick during, like, all the pandemic, like 2020, 2021. And so I was driving home, going to stay like a week and a half. I would come back, go back 3 weeks later, stay a week and a half. And I was able to do that and spend a lot of time with her. So it would be really hard for me to date somebody that is long distance at this point in my life. Because if he lives near his family and I live near my family, it would be really hard, because you have to choose. Yeah, base chick, see someone in their element for sure. Hey, Annabelle, welcome in. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to share. Now, some things I'm not completely sharing, but I do have it on here. So I think it's just important for single women to know what it is that you are looking for. Janetta, I have to know a person in every season: mad, angry, happy, sad, frustrated, all of that. Yes. Because you want to see it. Like, you want to see how a person responds when they get really, really mad. Or you want to see how a person is, like, when they're excited, when they're happy. Definitely. So I just think it's important for that. But so I do have a list, but it's a list of, I think, meaningful things that just helps me. So if I'm dating someone, and I will say that I didn't always listen. The way that my cousin explained it to me made a lot more sense. When I heard it from the man several years ago that suggested that single women and single men have a list, when I heard it from him, I was like, okay, I'll make it. But I really didn't put a whole lot of thought into it, but the way that my cousin explained it, it made a lot more sense. You have these things that you desire in a person, but you may not meet one person that has all of those things. So you really have to pray and ask God to bring you the person that has the qualities that you're looking for, or the qualities that you need from what you're looking for. And then also be particular when you're dating somebody. If somebody has a lifestyle that you don't agree with, or that you would not be willing to participate in, then don't keep dating that person. And I will say that's the mistake that I made with my most recent ex. And I will be transparent here and say my last relationship that I consider relationship, the last one, was in 2018. So it's been 4 years since I've been in what I consider a real relationship, which was a couple of years. So, but I have dated since then. I just haven't been in a committed relationship since 2018. And the thing about that relationship was he was older than me. We had a lot in common. Like anytime we went on dates, we had a great time. We did a lot of cool things, and things that we were both interested in: music, going to listen to live music, going to concerts, whatever it might be. We just had a good time. But the thing about it is, there were qualities that he had that if I were to look at my list of things that I would not accept, there are qualities that are on that list that he had. And so some of those qualities he showed early on, like when we first started dating. And what I should have done, I should have said, Talia, you know that these are things that you would not want in a long-term relationship. And I should have just ended that early on before I got more and more feelings invested and the relationship got more serious. So if I would have done that, I probably wouldn't have even been in that relationship. And then because it was going to end anyway, because there were things in that relationship that I would not accept. And I think sometimes as women, you get into relationships, and sometimes men as well, you'll meet people and there's certain things that you like about them, and you hold on to those things and you completely ignore these other things that you know you would not accept, or you know that you could not live with if you were to be married to that person. And so you have to. Annabelle says, I made a deal breaker list, a list of things I cannot live with. Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about, Annabelle. My cousin, who's been married for over 15 years, him and his wife, they've created such a good bond with each other. So he was just talking to me about that, having a list of those deal breakers, like you said, and then not ignoring them when you are dating somebody. Tanya's World, getting good, getting ready for bed, but noticed. Oh, thank you, Tanya's World. I appreciate that. You're getting ready for bed? Where are you at, Tanya's World? Where do you live? Oh, thank you, Annabelle. I appreciate that. Yeah, because you see the potential. You stay because you see the potential. Yeah, and so I was even having conversations with a friend of mine currently, because she's been dealing with the relationship where there's these great qualities and they get along. Oh, you work nights. That makes sense. Well, I hope you get a good amount of rest after working hard. But yeah, so I was talking to a friend of mine about that, because she's in a relationship and it's kind of been on and off, but there's just qualities that she just knows she can't really tolerate, but she continues to kind of be involved in that relationship. And I've been through that. I know how that is, because you see the good, and the good you want to just hold on to, but there's that part that's like, would you be able to live with this for the rest of your life? And that's really what made me step away from the relationship that I was in before. because I just had to really ask myself. I pretty much had to have a talk with myself, like, Talia, the things that frustrate you, the things that make you upset, would you be willing to live with that for the rest of your life? Are you going to be happy? And I told myself no. And that's when I had to just step away, because it's different when the person sees those things in themselves and they initiate change in themselves. But it's another thing when you see it and they don't see it, and they're not wanting to change because they don't see it. They don't see that they need to change. And there may be somebody in the world that will accept them the way they are without those things. But as women and men, it's important that you know what you can tolerate and what you cannot tolerate in a relationship. So I found this article. It's on it was on a website. Let me see what the website was. It was refinery29.com, and it was an article by Shani Silver. I'm not sure if I said that right. But it's called, "I used to save things for someday. When I'm married, I don't anymore." Let's see. Base Chick says, "My sister is in that kind of situation now. 10 years and still no commitment. He just acts right enough to keep her around." Yeah, and that's hard, because as soon as the woman is ready to leave, he'll show that good side. And it's like, oh, see, he's such a good person in this way. Like, maybe I should just give it another chance. And it just becomes a cycle. And you have to ask yourself, and that's what I told my friend. I said, you have to think about how he is right now. You can't think about, well, what if he changes? When you decide to commit to a relationship, it's not based on who you think they'll be 5 years from now. It's who you're dating right now. So everything that he's portraying right now, that's who you're going to get. Are you willing to accept that? If you're willing to accept that, then hey, go on. If you're not, then you need to cut the ties, because you can't just stay in a relationship thinking they're going to change or expecting them to change. And there are people who have done that and have got married thinking, oh, they're going to change. They just need to mature, or whatever it might be. And then you realize, that didn't happen. So I found this article, and it was basically talking about, this is just to encourage women, single women. So don't think that you can't do things because you're single. So I'm going to read this part. It says, "What bothers me isn't really what I've done in search of someday, but instead the things I haven't done because someday has taken its time. It's a halting feeling, the idea that if you're single, life somehow hasn't really started yet." So I was kind of saying yesterday, there's some women who are sad or depressed about being single, and they're kind of wasting time because they feel like they can't do certain things because they're not married. So Shani, who wrote this article, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Someone decided to mow the grass outside. She says, "I never wrote down a when I'm married to-do list, but there are just certain things people do when they're married and not before. So for example, do you wear a ring of any kind on your left ring finger ever?" And she says, "I didn't." If you found a trendy pair of rings, you might skip that finger because you don't want anybody to think you're married. But the truth is, sometimes you just want to wear a cool ring and it only fits on that finger, but you feel like you can't because you might miss out on meeting somebody. And so there's just those little quirky things that single people think about. He's been married before and has adult kids. She's never been married or had kids. Yeah, that's hard. I feel like you have to meet somebody or be with somebody that is kind of on the same trajectory. I can't even say the word trajectory as you in life. They're going in the same direction as you in life. So in this article, the lady, she says, "I mentally saved so many things for until I get married because they were things I thought I should share with someone else. For some odd reason, I wasn't enough on my own to enjoy them. So basically saying there were certain things she wouldn't do because she didn't have somebody to do them. So I also found an article called 36 Things Every Single Girl Must Do Before She Settles Down. Some of these things I was like, okay. But some of these things I was like, but I'm going to read some of them. So these are kind of categorized on this list. So this is from Glamour magazine, I believe. So these are 36 things that Glamour magazine says you should do before you get married or as a single woman. So go to a movie alone. If you want to watch a movie, go see it. Try a new activity, something you haven't done before, whether it's going water skiing, going surfing. I'm not going surfing, but I did do jet skis this summer. Live alone, which I do live alone. I've never been afraid to live alone. Especially after when I used to work outside of home, I actually loved coming home to some quietness. But now I kind of work both home and outside of home. Let's see what else is on here. It said, quit your job. It feels so good to take a job and shove it. I wouldn't recommend that part unless it's a job you hate. So quit that job, but find a job to make money first before you do that. That one I was like, what are you talking about? Learn to stand up for yourself. So again, these are 36 things that single women should do. Let's see. Revel in being able to watch all the reality TV you want. Get drunk during the day just because you can. Some of these I just thought were funny. Go on a date with someone who actually makes you nervous. Go out with an older man who takes you somewhere nice and makes you feel like $1 million. If you're single, you can comment if you would do any of these things too. Go out with a guy who makes you laugh till it hurts. Chill with your widowed and single grandma. Volunteer. Attend a wedding alone. Now this one, I don't know if I agree. It says date the creeps. You'll really value the nice guys afterward. But see, and that's kind of what some people that I know say, like go on the online dates, like go meet people, go do this, date the creeps, because they'll help you kind of learn things along the way. But I just don't like to just date people like that. Some other things to do. Again, this is from a list of 36 things every single woman must do before she settles down. Buy yourself flowers. That one I like. Buy yourself flowers because flowers brighten up a room. They make you feel good. I like that one. This one was invest in an LBD. Does anyone know what an LBD is? I'll give you guys a moment to see if you know what it is. It says every single woman should invest in an LBD. Anybody know what that is? What do you think it is? An LBD. So an LBD is a little black dress. It says every single woman should invest in a little black dress and some sexy stilettos. Sit at a bar by yourself and drink a martini. Cool. Now I will say I struggle with that one. Like, I haven't been to a movie by myself. I haven't went to go eat dinner by myself. I haven't sat at a bar by myself in order to drink. I should do some of those things. 'Cause why not? I should. But it's just, I don't know, when I go out to eat, it's usually for social things. Like I like to be able to talk to people, but you never know, you could meet somebody that way. So I think that's a good one. Um, Buy something frivolous and expensive that you love wearing. Another thing, finish all your schooling if you can. So basically, if you want to go to college, if you want to get another degree, they're saying while you're still single, go ahead and shoot for it, because you can, that'll help occupy some of your time. That's a good one. Coco, yeah, I could see how the movie thing would be cool, because I could just buy all the snacks I want, watch a good movie, enjoy my snacks, and just chill out. I could see that. I might have to do that one. Um, Throw yourself into something time consuming, like learning a foreign language. You may not have time to do this again once you settle down. So, those were good ones. Like, find things to do that you've always wanted to do. So that way you're utilizing your time. Um, Another thing from this list was make a list of all your faults. Make a list of all your faults. That's interesting. Have any of you ever made a list of all your faults, all the things that are wrong with you? And I won't say wrong with you, or things that you want to work on. And I'm wondering if that's so that you can think about things that you need to work on while you're single. I could see that being beneficial, like writing down things that maybe you need to work on personally, because you have the time. If you're single right now, you really have the time to work on yourself. So I could see that being a good one. Hey, Sonia, how are you? Another thing to do. So again, this is from Glamour magazine. It's a list of 36 things every single girl must do before she settles down. Some of the things I'm like, yeah. Some of the things I'm like, I don't know. But I'm reading some of them. Another one is learn to cook well. Learn to cook well. So that's a good one. You can try out different kinds of recipes and really like hone in on your cooking before you settle down. That's a good one. Sharice, I'll join you. I'm gonna do that too, because that's something I've never done, and I feel like writing down a list of all of your faults, all the things that you need to work on, because I think putting things on paper really makes you think about those things, and then makes you kind of be a little more proactive than to become, I guess, a better person. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it can be beneficial in a marriage too, Sharice. I could see that. Another thing that single people should do, of course, again, I didn't make this list. It's from Glamour magazine. Get some hobbies. Some things gotta keep you occupied. Plus, it'll make you seem interesting. That's good, because when you do start to date somebody, it also gives you things to talk about, like the hobbies that you're indulging in, the hobbies that they're indulging in. So like, for example, Coco's ethnic eats, her going fishing, like that would be an interesting thing to talk about on a date. Like, oh, you go fishing? Where do you go fishing? How long have you been fishing? Like, I've never gone fishing. Maybe we should go on a fishing date. Like, those kinds of things can spark conversation. So I like that. Yeah, I agree, Sharice, for sure. Another thing on the list, let your married friends edit your online dating profile. See, I don't have an online dating profile. So I've tried. So I set up an online dating profile on, what was it? It was a match.com. And then within just a few days, I deleted it, because somebody always weirds me out. And I'm like, this is weird. delete. And then my friend, she was like, you should go on you should try Facebook dating, which to me, I'm like, Facebook dating. I said, I'm probably gonna run into like people that I wouldn't even want to date. They're probably people that I already know. And she was like, no, give it a try. And so I set up a Facebook dating profile, and then within just probably a week, I deleted it because somebody weirded me out. So I was like, you're being weird. No. And I just deleted it. So I don't know, because then I started thinking I'm gonna have a stalker or somebody like that. But the thing is, you can meet strange and weird people in real life too, not just online. Yes, yes. Um, Another thing that single women can do before they settle down is to get your finances in order. That's a great one. Like if you're wanting to accrue a savings account or get into a better position financially while you're single, is a good time for you to be able to focus on that too. So I like that too. Babysit someone's baby for an hour. So these were some that were under ways to help you appreciate being single. Babysit someone's baby for an hour. Well, you never know. Some babies don't cry a lot at all, and you just fall in love. And then some babies like might cry the whole time, and then you're like, oh my goodness, you guys are going through so much. um, Host a girls' night. So that's a good one. Um, yeah, so this was from a list of 36 things. I didn't read all of them, but I did read quite a few of them. But some of them I would definitely do. Some of them I would be like, maybe. But I do, Coco, I want to commit to going to a movie by myself. And then maybe I'll tell you guys about how it went. Because I don't know. I'm just like, I don't want to go out to eat by myself. I don't want to. So I usually will always invite somebody. Like I'll send a message to a friend, like, how are you free this weekend? Or do you want to go eat somewhere? Or you want to go? Um, but sometimes people's schedules don't align and you might really want to go see that movie. So you should just go see it. Even if you're not single, even if you're married, somebody can't go and you have 2 hours to yourself and you just want to go see a movie, why not? So I definitely need to do that. So I'll have to commit to doing so and see what movies are coming out. But and you guys can hold me to it. You could say, Talia, have you gone to that movie? Well, you guys call me Tag, but my name is Talia, so you can call me Tag or Talia, either one. But you guys can hold me accountable. Like, Talia, did you go see a movie by yourself yet? Because I tell you, it's hard for me for some reason to go do things by myself. But I did travel one time. I traveled to Nashville in 2010. I went to this songwriters audition in Nashville, and I flew into Memphis. My flight to Nashville got canceled, so I had to rent a car, and I drove to Nashville from Memphis by myself. I had never been to Tennessee before, and then so I went on that trip by myself. I did go walking around, exploring by myself, but I didn't go sit in a restaurant and eat. I ordered food and took it to my hotel. So I'm just like, I don't want to go do it by myself, but I feel like that's something that I should do one of these days, is just make myself go sit and eat something by myself and go watch a movie. I think those are on my to-do list. So Cherie says, I was going to start taking myself on a date, just get that me time outside of going to Walmart. Yeah, time to yourself, just me time, taking yourself. I like that, taking yourself on a date, because anybody could do that, whether you're single or married, just taking yourself on a date. I like that. That's what, you know what? That would be a good one. Tag takes herself on a date. You can be cute, go take yourself on a date. I love that. Single or married. So, guys, I appreciate you for tuning in to another episode of Tag Talks. I did get the audio to go on Spotify, and actually is pretty good. The audio is pretty much like you hear it on YouTube, which I'm really excited about, because then I'll be able to invite guests onto this platform into StreamYard, and that audio will be able to go onto Spotify. I'm trying to get it connected to Apple Podcasts as well, but I'm still working on that. But I was excited to see that I was able to download the audio on StreamYard, and using Anchor. Anchor is a podcasting website and app, and I have an account with Anchor. I was able to log into my Anchor account, upload the audio. I edited the audio a little bit, like I took out like the beginning and the end to make it shorter, and then I was able to sync it to Spotify. So I was really excited that it worked. Base check, wish I would have known you back then. I would have given you a proper tour of my city. Oh, yes, definitely. So, base chick, are you in Memphis or Nashville? Which one? Or you live somewhere else now? Sonia, we all need me time. Definitely. I agree. Yes. It's important to have time for yourself and just time to unwind and not have to take care of anybody in that moment, or to think about, because I feel like just even, and I know you guys as moms and wives, you're always making sure that your kids, your husband, your spouse, have what they need as well. And so you taking some time to just have your own needs is important. Born and raised Nashville. Okay. Well, I definitely want to go back to Nashville. So when I do come back to Nashville, I will let you know, because I loved it. I thought the greenery was nice. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful city. I walked around like looking at all the music stuff and all of that. I think it's a really beautiful city. I'd recommend anybody to visit Nashville. And the drive from Memphis to Nashville was nice. I had the little GPS thing, and I just followed the GPS and turned on music and had a good, calm drive. So it was fun. But guys, I appreciate you all for tuning in to this episode of Tag Talk. I was about to close out, and then I went off on a whole tangent. But yes, I do have it also on Spotify. I uploaded the episode from, let me show you. So I'm going to go over here. So if you guys can see, I actually have it on Spotify. So this was a podcast. I started it in 2021 called Talk to Me. And after I kind of had a meeting with the lady that does podcasts, she told me how to get a podcast on Spotify or like Apple, things like that. So you can see I had a trailer that I put in January of 2021. I had my first episode in February of 2021. And then I interviewed my friend Tasha in March of 2021. I also interviewed my oldest sister and another lady that lived out here in the Dallas area. But those episodes, it was really hard for me to control their audio. So I didn't like how the audio was. And even in Tasha's episode, I felt like it wasn't as clear because I could only control my audio, which was really hard. So you can see I uploaded yesterday's episode, Why Are You Single? And so I will upload today's episode. So this just plays the audio. So It doesn't show the video. So on YouTube, you'll see this video that I'm recording through StreamYard, but on Spotify, you'll just hear the audio. So I'm trying to learn more about the podcasting thing, because I do like talking about different subjects. It's funny because I'm such an introvert, but I can also be an extrovert at times. I can be quiet, but then when it's something that I'm passionate about or something that I've experienced, or um, then I'm able to really talk about it. It's hard for me to engage in like small talk. Like, it's hard for me to just come up with stuff to talk about sometimes, and so I can be kind of quiet. But doing stuff like this opens me up with things that I can actually talk about. So that's what I have. Before I go, I also wanted to show you guys that I am engaged on another channel. Thank you, Sharice. I appreciate that. All man base chick. Yeah, that's happening in a lot of places. Gentrification. It's happening a lot here. Coco Ethnic Eats, can you do a how-to for the podcast? Because I'm interested in having one. Sure, I could definitely do that. I can definitely do that. I'll get with you and see a good day to do that. It might be something I can go live on StreamYard and do. So for anybody else that might be interested, they can learn about it as well. Yeah, Sharice, definitely. Oh, you're welcome. I also wanted to show you guys I'm engaged on another channel. Let me show it up close. So if you guys were able to catch my Wind Down Wednesday, where I had some of my Dallas, Texas friends on that episode, we actually created a YouTube channel called Artificial Conversations, and actually created this logo, the Artificial Conversations. I made it. But it has me, Ari, Garsher, and Nick, and we decided to create a channel together where we'll be talking about different topics based on the arts. So, for example, interviewing people. So, like anything that has to do with the arts, the art of dance, the art of singing, the art of cooking. But also, not only that, sometimes we will go to some of the different like locally owned restaurants and things like that out here to show you guys where some spots are in Dallas. Even some of the trendy spots and things like that we might do. Also, eventually, hopefully, Nick, Garsher, and Ari, when they want to do their own videos, they can do them on here as well. It may not always be the four of us because schedule wise, it's been even hard to get us together to record videos. So we're really working on it. For now, we're actually going to be doing actual episodes where we will have a videographer. His name is Darius. He has a business where he actually does videography. And so he's going to shoot the episodes for us. So we're thinking that we're probably going to end up doing one a month, because the schedules are so crazy, because they have other things that they're doing. I have other things that I'm doing. It's just hard to get us all together. So and then once we get to a point where we can go live on that channel, we'll probably go live pretty regularly and then do like some kind of talk show style stuff live. But in the meantime, we'll be recording episodes, and they'll probably be once a month. So if you guys could subscribe, you're welcome to that channel, and stay tuned for that. I did upload one introductory video, so you guys can watch that video. And if you watch it, leave a comment, like, and if you can, share out that video. But it's just introducing the four of us. And so I'm kind of the one when it comes to like the YouTube stuff. I'm kind of the one that's more familiar. They are more of the like artist creative. So Ari, she sings and raps and does acting. Garsha, she sings, does a little hip hop, and also does some acting as well. Nick, he has his own brand called The World is Backwards clothing brand, and then he also does some acting and like fashion shows. And so they have a lot of things that they do in the Dallas community. And so I really want them to showcase some of the things that they're doing as well. Me and Garsha actually were able to sing background for Ari. She did her first live show where she had a band, and we sang background for her show. That was the first time she had a live band, and that was a lot of fun. And so just kind of showing you guys some of those things. There's a lot of people here in the Dallas area that have great talent, and they're just not known out in the world, but around Dallas, people know who they are. And so definitely trying to showcase some of that on this channel so that other people can see what's out here, and introduce you guys to some of those people, because there's a lot just of great talent, not only just music, but acting, cooking, different things like that. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. I just wanted to share that because I've been meaning to remind people about that channel, but I just met with them. Actually, we just recorded a episode for Nick's show on his channel. He's trying to get that started on his channel. The show is called Destination Greatness. I did a live video where we were actually recording that episode for his channel. And so that's what made me think, oh, I need to go ahead and tell you guys about the show and this channel so people can get connected on there. But I appreciate all of you guys and everything that you all are doing in your channels as well. And just keep going, whether you're single, whether you're married. The main thing is just to stay positive and know that things can always be worse. And so just staying encouraged from day to day, knowing that life could always be worse. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Thank you for giving some of your time today. Thank you for sharing out or leaving a comment or liking any of those things. I appreciate you all so much. And I will see you all next time. Bye.